Welcome back to Medrash U'Maisa, sharing a story for this week's Parshas Toldos. The past week was the yahrzeit of someone named Rav Michel Aharon, who was the son of the Yesod Ha'avodah of Slonim. The Yesod Ha'avodah was the first Slonim Rebbe, and the next Slonim Rebbe was his grandson, the Divrei Shmuel. In between was this son, Rav Michel Aharon. Rav Michel Aharon was a great tzaddik, Talmud Chacham, but he was a nister. For his living, he made wine and sold wine. Now, one of the customers for his wine was the Yesod Ha'avodah's Beis Medrash, his father's Beis Medrash. They would buy it for Shabbos, for the Tishin, for the different times there was wine. At one point, a competitor popped up, and he was selling wine, presumably for cheaper, and even the Beis Medrash itself started buying that wine. The first time the Yesod Ha'avodah tasted that wine, he was able to tell that it was diluted with water. It was at a tish, and he turned to his son, and he said, "What happened to the wine?" His son didn't answer. And the Rebbe said, he was upset, he said with what's called kpeda, he says, "Do you think just because you're my son, you're allowed to steal?" Once again, Rav Michel Aharon didn't say anything. Only afterwards did some people come to the Rebbe and explain that it wasn't Rav Michel Aharon's wine, that they hadn't been getting that wine for a while. The Rebbe said at that point that was when he was able to realize the greatness of his son. He said, especially because my son understands how serious it is for me to get upset with him. That kapeda, that upsetness, would have affected his life in this world and the next. And despite that, he didn't say a word. In this week's Parsha, we have the phrase, Hakol Kol Yaakov, Vayadayim Yidei Esav. And Chazal said, when the voice of Yaakov is learning Torah, is davening, so then Eina Yadayim Yidei Esav. That dismantles the weapons that are the hands of Esav. Now, Midah Tova, we know, is always meruba, and Lashon Hara, speaking evil about someone, in the introduction to the Chavetz Chaim, he brings from the Zohar HaKadosh that it can cause chas v'shalom death to Jews even far away from where the Lashon Hara is spoken. So Midah Tova Meruba, someone who doesn't say something, and here even a Midas Chasidus to not say anything, and one isn't supposed to put the blame on someone else, but he didn't even say it wasn't me. So a power like that, of keeping silent at such times, has a huge amount of power. The Tov, even more than Lashon Hara. So just as Hakol Kol Yaakov, what Yaakov says, has tremendous power to enable us to be victorious over our enemies, so too we have to remember the tremendous power of heroic shtika, of keeping quiet at a time where something negative could be said, even in the face of tremendous consequences, as Rav Michel Aharon did. That's a form of heroism that can add strength to Am Yisrael's army and to enable us, hopefully, to be victorious over those who oppose us. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos.